It's a Saturday, which means on the Cultaholic Wrestling podcast feed, you have the Cultaholic Classic SmackDown review. So myself and Matthew Gregg get together every week, and we've been watching every single episode of SmackDown. We started back in 1999 of SmackDown, not at the year 99.
You started in 1999. You were ahead of the podcast boom.
We were.
You started podcasts.
It was us and Adam Curry with the Daily Source Code right at the beginning. And William R. Washington doing Rocket Buster Radio. It was just us. No, we started the first SmackDown in 1999, and we've been doing it for the last couple of years. We're 2003 now, so we've been watching SmackDown week to week to week. And it's
you poor thing.
Do you know what though? And this is the thing.
Yeah.
I think I prefer.
You prefer classic
To what's going on now. And you know what? As you've seen by the title, as we're going to talk about it today, WWE agree.
So this was a big report that came out yesterday from Body Slam Net Plus on their Patreon. They've basically said that sources within WWE have indicated that they expect that SmackDown will get a little bit of a boost to their roster when they move back to 3 hours. We know SmackDown's moving back to 3 hours. We're not entirely sure when that's going to be, but we know they're moving back. But anyway, the report continues saying WWE is aware that the brand desperately needs help on the creative and talent side and are discussing ways to improve that. They do desperately need some help because the SmackDown side of things has been lacking for a very long time. I would say for the better part of this year, SmackDown has been, I don't want to say a dud of a show because there's been good things in there. There's been some fantastic matches in there, especially the likes of Ilya Dragunov, the Sami Zayn's, the matches when he was the US champion. You had the fantastic TLC match on there with the tag division. So there's been definite nice and good parts of SmackDown over the past year, but there's been a lot of drivel. If you had to call it a drink, it can tend to be a bit of a flat glass of Coke. It kind of comes with the general flavour if you're a fan of Coke, but also just doesn't have the same energy as like a Monday Night Raw, or in sometimes even an NXT has. I would similarly make another drink comparison and say it's instant coffee. There's no, it's not a nice time, but you drink it anyway. But then you'll occasionally get a little sip and you're like, coffee, because you need it like we need the wrestling. There's definitely like I said, there's definitely good parts of SmackDown over the past year, but there's a lot of bad stuff as well in there, and it feels a move to 3 hours for me personally is a mistake. It really is. So when they were initially doing 3 hours, it very much felt like an hour and a half's worth of creative across 3 hours. Watching SmackDown live, I mean, Raw's not 100% off the hook here. No, for sure.
But watching SmackDown live on Netflix here in the UK is a goddamn chore. Yeah. Because you will have like 2, maybe 3 minutes of stuff, and that stuff isn't normally wrestling based. It's like a backstage promo and someone's half entrance before we go from one ad break to another. That 4-minute video of the wrestlers looping going, we'll be back soon. Annoying. It's so annoying that. I kind of would prefer a Cricket Wireless ad, I'll be honest. Honestly, I'd prefer adverts. As much as that's horrible to say, I'd rather have commercialization fed down my eyeballs. But like, it's so mentally draining when watching it, and you get the same music. It's like you're on hold on the phone, and you're just waiting for it to restart. I liked for Raw how in the ad breaks we get like promos, we get little things, we get to still see the feed. It doesn't work like that for SmackDown. So an extension to 3 hours, it's just like, okay, is it going to be the 2 hour show stretched to 3 hours to fill the time and just have extra ad breaks, have extra like backstage moments? When it's a wrestling show, as much as WWE prefers it being sports entertainment, we do want wrestling. I'd hope they extend the amount of matches they have, but that then comes to the major issue. They need a bigger roster. Yeah, this is really obvious. The fact that you've had like The Miz and Carmelo Hayes going around the houses for what feels like 10 years. Yeah. In a feud that when it began, like I feel like they were trying to build something semi-epic with Melo, Dope, Miz. And as a fan, and you know what? Everyone's got an opinion. Yep. It'd be boring if we all thought the same thing. I wasn't bothered at the beginning, and I'm certainly wasn't bothered at the breakup, and then the following breakup, and then the following scenes that have come from it. Not bothered, but it is a sign of the big issue on SmackDown, which is a real thinness in the roster.
And we've had, there's areas of the roster. Again, it goes back to the good points that I was saying earlier. There's some areas of it where it's very strong. The tag division has been very, very strong this year. You've got so many teams there that are all hungry, showing exactly why the SmackDown's tag division is one of the best in the industry.
But then you say that, but then the Wyatt Six turned up on SmackDown last night, and they haven't defended the belt since October. It's December!
That's also true. That is also true.
That was September, that was, sorry. By Earth, Wind and Fire. I was
dancing in December. It's December. I can't believe it's December.
Oh, my days.
But yeah, so like they haven't defended the belt, so there is some gaps there, but then you've got the depth of like Ilya Dragunov back, but you need folk that can come in and match that because he's doing open challenges, and we're just getting the same faces pop up now and now again. When you look at NXT, that's where you need the injection from, and there's so many people ready there to come up to the main roster. Like last night, we talked about it in the first news video today. Obafemi making an appearance.
Oh my days.
Huge moment for him. He's ready for the main roster. You look at the likes of Ricky Saints. He's ready for the main roster. Get him on SmackDown. It'll add to that mid-card, upper mid-card scene. Tony D, he feels like he's been ready for such a long time. He's been in NXT since it was 2.0. Get him on the main roster. There's so many places they need to improve. But it's not just the lack of roster that's kind of gone wrong for SmackDown. It's just the way the show is structured. Like structurally,
that's the biggest issue I find. Yeah, it feels like you can kind of do. You can always predict how the show's going to go beat for beat for beat throughout. It very much feels like a very stale episode of like Raw from 2002 in terms of how it's put together by Brian James. Are we throwing Diggity Dog under the bus?
Big Road Dog. I mean, the fact that it says it desperately needs help on the creative side of things. That's directly Road Dogg. That's his fault. Like, at the end of the day, the buck stops with him. He is the head of creative for SmackDown. You do need to have someone fresher in that role. Do we see a big reshuffle in terms of where they put people creatively? I wouldn't object to seeing Chef Michaels trying his hand at running SmackDown.
That would be
as much as he's rejuvenated NXT, and it would be a weird change for NXT, but having Chef Michaels on SmackDown.
It certainly couldn't hurt. The thing is, like, SmackDown, for as long as it's been around, has kind of been at the whims and mercies of the flagship show, Monday Night Raw. In 1999, SmackDown was kind of like there was no major storyline beats that were told in 99. This is pre-draft, or in 2000, or in 2001, as it was just kind of keeping the story bubbling over so you can watch Raw on Monday.
It was a recap show for a while, and it felt like that in the Raw Super Show era, like 2011 onwards. For a long portion of time, it was just like, hey, here's what happened on Raw. We're gonna have a rematch of that because for reasons. Yeah, we've got a show to fill.
There was a lot of that on there. Then when obviously the draft split happened, you had stars. It was very, very difficult for SmackDown in particular at the beginning before it really got its boat running. You had the SmackDown 6 where you had Rey Mysterio, Chris Benoit, Los Guerreros, Edge, and Los Guerreros. Benoit, Angle.
There we go.
Dear, what a nightmare! What a nightmare that was.
Do you know who you said you could put into any match to make a match?
Kurt Angle.
And you forgot
and I forgot him because he was in another match.
He was in another match, making it so good.
So you had the SmackDown 6, and you had Paul Heyman leading that creative direction. You could really sense there was some energy there. It was the show that birthed John Cena, and when John Cena finally found his voice and found his calling, had a great year in 2003, became the WWE US champion in 2004, and in 2005 as he became world champion, they took him to Raw. They moved. And this would be something that would happen quite a bit, is when somebody would start gathering some momentum on SmackDown, they move them onto Raw. They put you on the flagship show.
It's definitely a weird, because in hindsight, like looking at it, the SmackDown 6 feels like the best era of SmackDown. Mm-hmm. But when you mention it and go, whenever anyone got steam, they got moved to the other show. So is it really the best era of SmackDown? Because it was really just a feeder system for Raw.
The saddest indictment of SmackDown ever was during the 2004 draft. I think think it was the '04 draft lottery, where Triple H was moved to SmackDown. And so, against the idea of working on a Tuesday, they swapped him back to Raw in favor of the Dudley Boys of Booker T.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, he wants to stay there.
It feels like they ran that again back in, I think it was 2010 with John Cena, where he gets drafted to SmackDown and everyone's like, oh my God, Cena's on SmackDown. And then at the end of the night, a random draft meant he was back on Raw. He literally just switched t-shirts for a night.
There was some golden bits here. Obviously, the Bloodline saga predominantly played out on SmackDown. And I think that's
SmackDown was the A show.
Yeah, and that was where SmackDown truly felt like the main show in the company, because you had Roman Reigns and you had that entire story that's being told with him as the dominant top champion. Now, arguably, you could say, well, Cody Rhodes is now the top champion on SmackDown, but you've got to admit that whilst Cody is a great champion ambassador, since he's won that title back, outside of Drew McIntyre, we have really lacked some depth at the top there.
Yeah.
It's Drew again. Okay. Which is, I think, why we were so excited to see Obafemi last night. Because we went, this is where we go.
It's someone fresh. It's someone new. And they really need to make sure that when they go into the new year, we'll give them a little 2 weeks, 3 weeks for Christmas, a bit of time to reset things. But into the new year, they really need to have some top of the names at the top of the card. Like, Ilya Dragunov is another name that I feel like you could instantly push right at the top. Have him, as much as the US title stuff is brilliant, have him drop that belt to the likes of Carmelo. Although last night we did see Carmelo save him on SmackDown from DIY. Have him out of that picture and move him up to the top scene. You've got Sami Zayn on SmackDown. Bring him up to the top scene.
You've got Chelsea Green on SmackDown, who is the women's US champion, and there's just nobody to defend that belt against. So she's in a feud with Jade Cargill.
And also on NXT.
On NXT.
I mean, she's a workhorse. She's genuinely one of the best in the entire company right now. But yeah, so there's a lot of talent there that just need to be supplemented with more talent to have them compete against people. There's no point in having a semi-good roster when you've got no one for them to face. That's the biggest issue for me at the moment.
Structure, roster, they are things that desperately need to be looked at. This concludes Fraser and Tom's TED Talk and the end of year review of SmackDown.
That's kind of what this is. It's an end of year review of SmackDown. It's been pretty crap, but we get through it. We deliver the news for you.
And I also think that it genuinely has the potential to be a fantastic show again.
Yeah.
I really do. I really, really do. And you can obviously relive some of the best and the worst that SmackDown has to offer on the Cultaholic Classic SmackDown review. And it's not been perfect all the time. The episode that we dropped today features it's John Cena all over. It's 3 days before Backlash when he challenges Lesnar for the title. So that's on there. And it's Cena finding his voice as Dr. Thugonomics in that show. But then also it's got Roddy Piper versus Rikishi, which is turgid, and a really weird Sable Body Invitational. SmackDown has always been a bit weird.
It has been it's a bit of a weird show. Yeah, it is slightly weird. But it beats adverts.
It certainly beats adverts. It certainly beats adverts.
Or just the spinning same superstar on the screen with a SmackDown text with bad elevator music. It's so bad. It's so bad.
It's very bad.
But what's not going to be bad is the live stream tonight.
Yes, indeed.
Right here, youtube.com/cultaholic/live. Sam and Andrew right here with John Cena's final match ever. Sam's got some lovely locks of hair, and it's just going to be so funny to have him sat on stream for that length of time.
Have you not seen his new look yet? Well, do you know what? I think this is one week where we probably won't be featured in a video package from WWE. But when you see,
oh my God! Imagine if
they won't.
Imagine if they do,
mate. They won't touch us with a barge pole.
Imagine if they do, and he's looking like that with the t-shirt. Andrew in tears at John Cena's final match. Cena's retiring. Andrew floods of tears, and Sam looks like that.
Oh, God.
Check out the patreon.com/cultaholic. Sign up at the bronze tier and you'll get access to that, WTF moments, and every other punishment we've done on the Patreon. It's some really good stuff.
And for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.